And there's a lot of them. There's like definitely over 25. I think it's like 30 something, probably, right? And as a beginner, you might wonder like, how do I know which one to look at? Do I use this one? Do I go to this one? How about this one? How do I know when's the right time, right? And don't get me wrong, I could figure this out on my own without any additional tools, right? But that's gonna take a little bit of experience, right? So our goal here is to help shorten your learning curve, help you make money while you're learning how to trade, right? Or help you make money as you're continuing to improve on your trading, right? Because literally with this tool, you could become independent. And it could just be you, the charts in this tool, right? You really don't need me. You don't need Kim. You don't need anyone, right? And that's the goal, right? The only thing you would need is this tool. But it's not a bad thing. So what this tool does is it gives you certain trade ideas, right? And as you can see to the right here, I have about 8 of them. So we just went from, like, let's say this is 30. I know it's like definitely 30 or more. Let's say this is 30. We just went from 30 charts, narrowing it down to 8. And then I'm going to show you how we can narrow it down a little bit more. But this allows you to just focus on what you need to focus on. Does that make sense, everybody? All right, cool. Shout out to Nikita. All right. So, I'm kind of cheating here. So let me just delete some stuff. I wanna give you guys quality, not the lazy way, because I just did the same class in Spanish about 30 minutes before you guys. I finished about 30 minutes before. Okay, so the very first thing, if you're brand new here, the very first thing you're gonna do, is you're gonna go to your web browser and you're gonna type in this website right here at the top, harmonics.im. Harmonics.im. All right. Once you get that, I'm gonna log out here. It'll take you to a page like this. You pretty much enter the same credentials you used that you signed up with. The same credentials that you signed up with. Okay? So once you log in, this is what you're gonna see. Now we're gonna change things up a little bit here. The very first thing you're gonna notice on the right-hand side, you have a broker, Hugo's Way. It doesn't matter what broker is showing you, but you have a broker here. I'm going to click here, and you have a list of other brokers you could choose from. Personally, me, I like to go work with this one, xm.com. Sometimes this gets a little glitchy, right? So if it does, then you can have like a backup broker. My backup brokers are usually Hot Forex or FX Choice. But I like to, you could really go through any one of them, right? These are just my preferences. So I'm going to go ahead and select my broker. And then I don't want to look at any, as you can see up here, it says M15, M30, H1, H4, D for daily. I really don't care for the M15 or the M30. I care for more H1 or higher. Okay? So I'm going to go ahead and click on H1. And then you have the different trades you can look at. Now what I am going to do, I'm going to double click on my screen anywhere where you see like a white screen here. And now I just made that, all this disappear. We don't really need that right now. Yeah, I already marked it up. So yeah, we'll look at it now. I marked it up on the previous class. But so overall, so now that you guys know how to log in, you know how to narrow it down to the broker, down to the time frame that you want. Now we're gonna eliminate some of these ideas, some of these trade ideas, right? Because either they already happen, or they don't necessarily meet the criteria that I'm looking for, right? Now the very first thing is I wanna measure. So here it's telling me there's an entry here, and then it's telling me there's take profits going down this way. So because there's an entry at the top and there's take profits at the bottom, that is an indication to me. It's not an indication. It's telling me that it's a sell, right? In the event like let's see, like this one, the entry was at the bottom. The take profits are going towards the top. So that is telling me that it's a buy. So you want to make sure you know that, right? Now, what I want to do to eliminate certain trades that I may not really care for, I'm going to measure from the entry line. In this case, there's two. So we're going to measure from the very top one. From the entry line down to the TP3. All right? So this is 90 pips. For me to want to be able to even consider a trade, I would like it to be at least 80 pips or bigger. In this case, this would qualify. The next one. From here to here, over 160 pips, this qualifies. The next one. This just looks ugly. It's consolidated. It's just going side to side. So that would be one thing that I would not want to, I probably wouldn't pay attention to it for. And the other reason would be it's only about 45 pips. Not really interested. Euro USD. $187 pips. Let's go. This pretty much already happened, so we're not going to really look at this. So far we've eliminated this one and this one. This pretty much already happened. Could you get another entry on it? Maybe, but I'm not going to really pay attention to that right now. I want to look at what's going to give me the most potential here. So these already happened. This already happened. This already happened. So we literally went down from 3, 6, 9 trades. We eliminated this. We eliminated this one. We eliminated this one. And we eliminated these last 3. So we eliminated 5. That brings us down to 4 trades. You see how we went from 30 to 9 to 4. These are the only 4 trades that you should be focusing on until they activate, or especially once they activate, right? This will allow you to trade. You guys, I'm sure you guys have already heard it in the academy that you want to focus on like one pair. You want to learn one pair. There's a reason for that, right? The reason is you start understanding the movements that it's doing, right? Now, I'm not necessarily preaching that to you right here, but what I'm telling you is that the more you're focused on one or two things versus 20 different things, you're going to be more focused on really understanding what's happening in the market while you're looking at it, right? My style of trading is I try to get into entries as early as I can in the week, and if that trade takes off, I really have no reason to start entering into more trades. If anything, I want to be able to look at I want to be able to maybe find additional entries on that same trade that I'm already in, right? Because then I'm focused on that one trade. I'm not focused on 5 different pairs. I'm focused on that one pair, right? So let's take a look at the first one that qualified, NZD USD. Now, because this is a sell, the letter D is always going to be up at the top. It's going to be the letter D is the highest in a sell. The letter D is the highest point that it's gone to in the most recent, right? So with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and draw a line right at the very tip of that wick that's touching the letter D. Okay. Now, the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to draw another line somewhere in between this line, this wick, and the body of this candle. Now, easily I could do this and just say, all right, that's going to be my zone. Now, who can tell me why I did this? Why would I draw this zone here? Someone who doesn't really know. Let some of the newer people speak. Or, right? So let me ask you a question. If you were in your house right now, which I'm sure probably most of you are, but let's just say you magically just had a ball appear in your hands right now, and you threw that ball as hard as you can to the top, upwards, what's going to happen? What's it going to hit? No, we're not talking about Forex. We're talking about, yeah, exactly. It might hit your head at some point, and it'll definitely probably hit a ceiling, right? So think about this as a ceiling, right? It came up, it came up, it came up, and then it kind of stopped here, and now it's kind of trying to push. It's trying to push down, right? So that is a ceiling. The D point is supposed to be a ceiling or resistance, correct? Support, also known as the floor. Resistance, also known as the ceiling. Okay? Now, the next thing I'm going to do, I want you to think about it the same example I just gave you about throwing that ball. Let's say this is a basketball. Right? And let's say I was standing right here at the top. And I throw that ball. And it's falling, it's falling, it's falling. And all of a sudden, just like what you're seeing right here, it starts to go up. And let's say it keeps going up. And it keeps going up and it comes up to here. Why would that happen? Like, why do you think this candle is starting to push up now? Not a retest. Yeah, it could be preparing for momentum. A wick rejection, right? But what causes a wick rejection? It doesn't magically happen. There's something there causing it. Everyone pretty much said it, hitting the floor or support, right? So it's hitting a level of support or a floor, therefore it's pushing it back up, right? Same thing. If I throw a ball right now in my house, when it hits the floor, it's going to bounce. So our job is to identify the floor and the ceiling. I'll repeat. Our job is to identify the floor and the ceiling because it's there. But I want you to think about it like it's there. It's drawn there with a magic marker that you